Welcome everybody back. To everyone joining. Should actually get into the Discord. Back for tier 4 here in Suzuka. Without our championship leader, it looks like. So a lot of points up for grabs for the people behind in the constructors as well. No Maddie either in the McLaren, so there's some points up for grabs for Williams and Alpine in the constructors. While we're here, let's actually check the standings, what they're looking like. So after last week, it is Mr. Frosty still in first, followed by Maney in the McLaren, Evil Blade in the RB, Chevy Wolves in the Alpine now, forgot he got traded. Then Matt Skills P5, Duck Puncher P6, Cashy P7, Izzy Fizzy P8, Frizy P9. His new colours as well with the Williams. X-Knights P10 in the Aston. J-Swole P11, Chasey P12, Shining Swarm P13, leads his teammate War Machine in P14. Kirko P16, the Cub P17, Henchman P18 and his new Red Bull, who I don't think is here. Unless this is him, I'm actually sure. Mick P19 and then Lucky P20. For the constructors, it's McLaren leading Red Bull, Williams, Racing Bulls. Those top four separated by 60 points. And then it's a 70-point gap to Haas and P5, Alpine P6, Aston P7, Mercedes P8, Sauber P9, and Ferrari dead last. So, let's get our track map up. So he's gone first. Looks like it is the Red Bull. Inside to inside. Looks pretty good. It's through turns 1 and 2. I can actually pretty cautiously point in none for the whole S's. It's a 33.0 through the first sector. I believe he is a reserve, so Fishy will be hoping for a lot of points from him to hopefully gain back a little to McLaren. But it will be a tough ask to keep up with Maney, who's P2 in the standings. Coming onto straight. Sector 2, what's he looking like? A 13.0, coming to 130R. It's actually run out of battery to use. It might be a bit slow through here. It's a 131.1 to start us off. We don't know who's next to us. Chevy Wolves with a 21.0, a big jump. 2 seconds actually, mix out in the kick. Very weird. 2 Hasses up next. One with a 30.0, the other with a 29.9, so both close between the 2 Hasses. X-Knight's up next in his new Aston Martin. A lot of batteries, cool. Not going to finish that lap. Chasey, basically out of battery, but he gets it done. P2 with 29.3. Duck Puncher, guessing that wasn't a proper lap. Mercedes, Jace P6, also reserving. Maney calls quits on his lap. Frizy P5 with 30.2. So those top 2 look very, very clear from the rest of the field. 29.0 and a 29.3. That is a 6/10 gap. Chevy Wolves 4th in the standings. Recently traded to Alpine from Williams. He's looking very good here in Suzuka. 3/10 currently on provisional pole. Chase can definitely still contend with him. 29.3 is also a pretty good lap. Uh, 29.9 and 30.0. 3 and 4. Then a 30.2 from Frizy. And then it drops off 9/10 to the Red Bull 31.1. Then it drops off another second to Jace at 32. So let's see Duck's proper lap here. He locks up. It's a big lock up going into that corner actually. Would have lost him a bit of time and he abandons the lap. Definitely looked like he was struggling a bit there. Who do we have next? I don't believe there's anyone close. Shining starting a lap. He said he's been cooking recently, so it'll be interesting to see him. But someone who's been cooking recently is this man, Evil Blade, who has been P2 last week, and then he was P1 the race before that. He's just set the purple first sector. I think that was just a Ferrari in the wall of Kirko letting Evil Blade pass. Evil Blade will be looking to continue his form here in Japan as he's trying to lead the RBs up the order as both cars have had a lot of form recently. And Evil has gone up to 3rd, I believe, in this championship. As Chevy Wolves actually improved his time, 28.8 now. 5/10 on pole. As we say that, Evil Blade has set 2 purple sectors. He's looking to go even quicker than Chevy Wolves' time. Which he does, a 28.3. It's 5/10 quicker than Chevy Wolves. Wow, that is a big gap from provisional pole to P2. And this field is looking pretty spread out here. Lucky goes P9. Looking shiny too. He's actually set the purple middle sector. So can he improve that provisional pole time even more into the Mercedes? Looks like he... No, it's only P6. Maybe a poor first or last sector. But we have Kashi now. Missed last week, but he's here in Suzuka and he goes P4 in that Williams. Good lap, 29.3. He'll be happy with that. I mean, 4th and 8th for the Williams, looking pretty good for them. One of the teams who have both of their drivers here, and whoa, that's a big going very wide, that Red Bull. Duck is going for a proper lap now, so let's watch him. He's using a lot of battery on this main straight. Fully sends it into that corner. Looks good. Good exit. It's on the curb. Both turns looks very good. Want a good exit out of here. It's outside to inside. Need a good exit out of this corner, which he does. What can he do in the first sector? It's the 32.0, currently the quickest so far. Can he make an RB12 possibly? You'll need a very good time to do it. But he's definitely capable of it. A lot of battery on the straight. Outside to inside again. Looks good. He's on the limit here, Duck Puncher. Straight over the curb. What can he do in the middle part of the lap? X-Knights goes P2. Apologies for missing that in the Aston Martin. But he has brought that pole time down to a 10th. Evil Blade. Very good lap from X-Knights. 28.4. What can Duck do? A 28.5 and P3. The RBs are 1 and 3 at the moment. And that is exactly what the RBs would have wanted. Two very, very strong laps from the two of them. I'm sure their team principal will be happy with that. I'm not sure who that is, but they're looking good. Them. What can the Haas driver do? P5. It's a good improvement. Gets ahead of Chasey G. What about his teammate? Didn't really look like a push lap there. Lucky. Now going on his lap. Chasey G is looking about 2/10 up. P5, he takes P5 back from the Haas. Strong lap. Not much next up, so we'll see what Chevy Wills can do. Can he take back P1? But now a 3/10 gain he's going to need to go back up the order. And using to about 68%. That side to inside. Ooh, he's staying pretty clear from the curbs. But looking like a pretty good first sector so far. Let's see if he's up. He is. He's but very, very far over the curve. But looks to be the quickest first sector so far. Nearly 2/10 up. Interesting to see if he lost any time going over that bump though. Using the battery. Where you just got to lift off the throttle over the curb to the inside. It looks good. Oh, but he goes wide and he invalidates the lap. That's unlucky. But we'll go to Main, who has yet to settle up. Second in the championship. He'll be looking to take advantage of the championship leader not being here. A win for him today would mean a lot for his championship chances. Lift off the throttle. Oh, he gets back onto it quite sharply. Still looks alright though. Easing down, going to 130R. It's an 111.8 after the first. Oh, he's nearly spun the car after 130R as well. A few mistakes here for our championship contender. He's going to finish the lap. And it's going to be a lap worthy of P7. You want more, but P7 is still very decent. Looks like he's at the quickest last sector. So clearly looking pretty quick there, the McLaren. And he'll need some big points to help him in the constructors and the overalls. Obviously not including his actual championship chances. You'll need a big race. You're not going to get much of a better opportunity than this. Haas not setting a lap. So this will be the time where the cars start preparing for their last laps. It's going to be X-Knights who will start them, I believe. Under the driver in P2. We'll need about a 10th an improvement to go up to original pole. Very good in the first sector. Lifted off well. Keeps it tight on the apex. Fourth gear. Oh, he doesn't really lift off, he kind of just accelerates through it. But he's slightly up in the first sector. So he is improving. If he keep it up, he might be able to snag a pole position here. I might be wrong, but I don't think he's got one so far this season. But he's definitely got a few podiums to his name. So seeing him in pole position, no one would be that surprised by it, I don't think. Lifts off the throttle well. straight before 130R. What's he going to do in the middle sector? He's down by quite a long way as well. Doesn't look like the greatest middle sector for him unless he can save it in the last sector, which doesn't look like he abandons the lap. I don't think he has time to go out again, to be honest. Good Shining Swarm dude, looks like the quickest middle sector again from him. Currently in P10, he's about 8/10 off P9, so we need a big improvement. And he gets it up into P7, that lap ahead of Maney. Kirko starts his lap, the only one yet to set a time. I think the Red Bull is now starting his lap as well. And that was just a cool down lap for him. And Chasey invalidates his lap. He does look like he has enough fuel to go again though. At least you would hope he does. Go on board for Kirko for a bit. 32.9 through the first sector. Oh, and that is... might have cursed him a bit there going onto him. He runs wide. Big mistake for his one and only lap, I'm guessing. Unless he's just going to choose to harvest it and go again. Let's see who's on a lap at the moment. Chase is going to look to go again. Chevy's on his lap. I believe he's going to start us off for these runs, unless the Haas will. Doesn't look like he's on a push lap. So what can Chevy do? Made a mistake on his last lap, but he definitely has the pace to contend for pole and the race win. Might get a bit of traffic, hopefully get out of the way. I'm not sure if he lost any time because of that. If he did, not too much, and 3/10 up in the first sector, and that's the quickest one so far. So I don't think he was too impacted by that. Outside to inside, takes the apex well. Oh, but he has a moment coming out of that corner. Definitely lost some time there. How much time? And is it enough to impact his position? He needs about 5/10 improvement for pole, and he runs wide there again, and that's exactly where he invalidated last time. Makes the same mistake, gets the same result. Chases are also invalidated again. Interesting. Oh, I don't know who's actually up next. Well, I think Maney might be next. What's that Haas? No, he's invalidated. Chevy's invalidated. Chasey's invalidated. Maybe the Williams of Frizy? Yeah, it looks like him. See what he can do. I think he was about half a second up there. This looks like a nice improvement for him. Takes this last chicane very cautiously though. It looks to nearly spin the car. Coming out of it, goes really far down to the inside and he goes P11 to join his teammate. Kirko do. He looks to be about 3 seconds up, and he needs to be. He wants to get himself out of the bottom. He does get himself out of the bottom. In fact, it's P13. 2 drivers below him. Actually a good lap for Kirko. 30.3. What about the Haas? Can he join his teammate who's currently P6? No, it's not an improvement. What about Maney? Goes P4, and that was a much needed improvement. Kashi goes P6, a nice lap from him. What about the 2 RBs? Looks like it's going to be Duck first up. He takes provisional pole at 27.7. That is provisional pole by 6/10 over his teammate as Lucky goes P12. X-Knight splits the RBs, goes P2, and Jason ends the lap. But wow, what a qualifying session and what a lap from Duck Puncher. A 27.7 here in Japan is our tier 4 pole time. And he was telling me that he wasn't feeling too confident at this track. And his PB is like a 28. And he just comes here in qualifying and sets a 27.7 after he was struggling in time trials, only seeing 29s, he shocks the grid and takes pole by 5/10. Wow. It's a good lap from X-Knights and EU Blade too, who are 4/10 away from P4. But it's just nowhere near Duck Puncher's incredible lap time of a high 27, and that's going to be quicker than some of those Tier 3 boys. Duck Puncher takes pole with a 27.7, 5/10 ahead of X-Knights, a 10th ahead of Evil Blade. It's an 1-3 for the Racing Bulls. Maney P4, 4/10 away from P3. 10th behind him is the Alpine of Chevy Wolves, who honestly probably could have gone better if not for those two invalidations at the end. Kashi P6, Chasey P7, Fabian P8, Shining P9, the Haas P10, Frizy P11, Lucky P12, Jace P13, Kirko P14. I think it was Jace, the cars that I missed down there. But yeah, obviously 4 seconds from P1 to last is a big gap. And it was I believe a 1 second gap from P1 to P5. So those top three were pretty far ahead of the field. X-Knights, Bladey and Duck Puncher clearly seem to be the favourites to win this race, if no mistakes are made. Obviously Chevy's in with a chance, Maney's in with a chance. Those top five I think will be the main contenders. Yeah, I think I'll favour one of the RBs to go on and win this one. I don't want to jinx them or anything, but I've got to have faith in my team, so if either one of them can win, I'll be very happy. And I believe they can, but X-Knights will definitely be right there with them. It'll be interesting to see who goes with the medium and the hard. I think most will go the mediums, but some will try to extend for sure. It's pretty unlikely we'll get a safety car here in Suzuka, but definitely possible. As some, as you saw in qualifying, can make mistakes, and because of that I believe we'll get a fair few penalties tonight. In Tier 3 as well, probably. And if they don't get a penalty, they'll very likely get a warning or two. But here we go, it's 5 lights. And away we go in Tier 4. It's Mick and the Red Bull at the back jump the start. But we're away for Tier 4. Duck gets away well. And so does X-Knights. Maney's looking down the inside of Bladey. Chevy gets away well as well. But Duck has an amazing start, already 8/10 ahead. And it looks to be similar to how he started. Shining maybe a mistake. Loses a lot of spots. I think maybe even some debris I saw there. I'm not sure who that was, but Shining loses a lot of spots. Some pretty chaotic stuff at the back. Lucky loses some spots. But for the most part, the grid stays the same through the first sector of this race. Duck a second ahead of X-Knights already. Mick up 2 from last, Kirko up 1, Jace up 2, Frizy up 2, Chasey up 1, Lucky down 4, Shining down 3 and Kashi down 1. Other position changes. Everyone else has stayed exactly where they started. Kashi actually runs a bit wide. Chevy and Maney are going side by side on their straight. Maney has a bit more battery to use. And he stays in P4. Chevy is right there. Maney is 1.7 away from P3 Evil Blade. So the grid looks pretty spread out. Ooh, Fabian looks to have made some contact with someone, possibly Kashi, who I saw go in front of him. Not too sure though, he loses some spots because of it. Nick and the Red Bull go to serve their drive-thrus. Already this field is looking pretty... Oh, Duck has made a mistake! From P1, he looked to gain a massive advantage, and he spun it. That is really unlucky. Maybe just got on the curb, whatever it was, but he'll be looking to get back through the field, which he's definitely capable of doing, as we saw his pace early on. He had to come back last week in Spain, and he's going to have to do it again. But that gives the positions. X-Knights takes the lead because of it. Blady goes P2, Maney fills out the podium spots. Chevy in P4, but Cashy's looking at his old teammate here. P5, Chasey P6, Frizy in P7, our biggest gainer up 4, just behind his teammate. And then you've got the two Hasses, 8 and 9, Jace P10 leads his teammate Shining Swarm tonight. Coco P12, and then Duck, our pole sitter, unfortunately with that mistake, down 12 in P13. He does have wing damage, he's losing an M plate there. His right M plate must have made contact with someone with that spin. Like his P14, and Mick fills out the points. But Blady sets the fastest lap and takes the lead of the race. He used a lot of his battery to do so. His X-Knights is underfueled. If anyone else is underfueled. No, it's just X-Knights, but Duck is in to replace that damage, and that's really unlucky for him. Interested to see if anyone else does. Looks like he made contact with someone. Interesting to know who, but Chevy got ahead of Maney in P3, up 2 spots from P5. Frizy's looking pretty vulnerable to the Hasses, which is definitely on P7. As there's a 1 second gap to each car in the top 4. It's Blade at 1 second ahead of X-Knights, 1 second behind him is Chevy, and 1 second behind him is Maney. So his top 4 are pretty spread out. Cashy just behind Maney. Maney will be hoping to get back in DRS, but doesn't look like he's going to. Cashy goes wide of that corner, he seems to do that quite often. That's giving Chasey the more chance to go at him. But he's got a lot less battery than Cashy does. See what we have on the straight. Doesn't look like X-Knights is going to have DRS. He doesn't, so Chevy Wolves is going to get even closer to him. Blady sets another fastest lap, but it's stolen by Chevy at 31.2. I actually haven't checked the tyres yet. I should do that. Oh, Chevy's thought about a move, but he backs out of it. Our medium runners, most going mediums. Surprising he's overtaken. But the top 2, Evil Blade and X-Knights, have gone hards. Chevy on mediums, Maney on mediums, Cashy on mediums, Chasey on mediums. I'm just going to call him ML on mediums. Frizy on hards, Bruno on mediums, both Mercedes on mediums, Perko and Lucky on hards, Mick and the Red Bull on mediums. I believe Duck was on mediums before that damage. He is now on hards. And he is burning every bit of that battery to try and come back. But most cars are now going into none. Try and gain some of that advantage back. Chevy Wolves in particular burning a lot to try and catch up to X-Knights. And you want to get past him on those medium tyres, as X-Knights is on the hards, so Chevy should be a bit quicker than him. He definitely looks like he is. That gap is going down. Kirko looks to have made a move. Oh, they're getting close, and Kirko's wide, but so is Jace. Both cars looking... So they're both off again. Looking feisty. Those two, but X-Knights doesn't have DRS again. Chevy does behind him. X-Knights looks to get a pretty good exit out of there compared to Chevy. Chevy doesn't even bother burning. He knows he's not going to get close enough. And he doesn't have DRS. Cashy does, but doesn't have the DRS. Same with Chasey to go for a move. Same with the others behind. Gecko will want to get that position back, but he's not quite close enough just yet. Oh, gets kind of close to his rear end. But they manage to stay out of contact for now. Chevy's put the gap down to 3/10 now though. Both, oh no, X-Knights didn't even harvest, Chevy did. And Chevy still gained about 3/10. So maybe Chevy just a bit quicker through the corners as Kashi gets the first 3 seconds of the night, and there'll definitely be a few. Yeah, Kashi's definitely been pushing the limits, going wide at a lot of those corners, so it's bound to happen. We wanted to fix it, not get another one, and improve some pace. This corner in particular he struggles at. He seems to do it pretty cleanly this time around. I think the main battle here will be Chevy trying to gain on X-Knights for P2, as X-Knights just doesn't look like he has the pace for Evil Blade, where it should be a RB12 at the moment, if not for that mistake, but I'm sure Duck can climb back through this field. At least up to, I reckon, P8. That's when it'll start being a struggle, but those other cars he shouldn't struggle too much, as Chevy is going for it on those medium tyres and he gets it done. He'll be wanting to now try and gain on Bladey. That is Chevy Wolves in the P2, and that is helping even more for the overall chances for Alpine, as they have been looking really good recently, those Alpines, as have the Astons. But Kashi's getting awfully close to Maney now, both similar ERS too, and he currently P2 with the championship leader not here, so that is a lot of points gained for him. Kashi goes wide there again. Chasey will be licking his lips at that. He actually goes and sends it down the inside. It's a big dive. Kashi goes for the undercut. Not the undercut, the switchback, sorry. Side by side. Kashi looks to get it back, and then Chasey goes back through again. Burning a little more battery to do so, but he takes advantage of Kashi going wide. So it's a big move on him and gets it done up in a P5 in this race. That is up 2 spots for him now as Kashi goes back to the place he started at. Very good move from Chasey. Kashi definitely seems to be struggling a bit here. Very good move from Chasey, but will he have enough battery to hold it off as he goes to a little bit wide of that corner, but Kashi doesn't have the best exit either. Even looking a bit vulnerable to the Haas behind him. But the straight line speed just a bit too much clearly. Not going to get close enough to Chasey, but he definitely looked to have gained on him. Goes wide, really wide. The Haas not close enough to go for the move, but Kashi seems to be struggling. I'm not sure if that's tyre wear or just not his track, but he's not having the greatest times as of the last few laps. Chasey now getting on Maney until he goes wide. That definitely loses him a couple of times, and that helps Kashi get him back. Shame for Chasey, he was right on the back of Maney, but goes wide, and that's his progress restarted again. Kashi back through. Duck has got past the 2 at the back now. Still 15 seconds to the next car though, so he'll want to put his head down from here. Chevy's brought the gap down to nearly under a second, but he's not quite in DRS yet. Question is, will he be able to get into that DRS before the mediums get too far worn? Doesn't look like he's going to get there this lap, but next lap is definitely a chance for Chevy. Maney's definitely harvested a bit on that lap, has a lot more battery than Kashi. That is Chasey and the Haas. This 4-way train could get pretty spicy. All seem to be on the limit, making mistakes because of it. Chasey might need another place, but he defends really hard to the inside. He's going to keep the position. Too quick on the straight for the Haas. Definitely using a setup that is lower downforce. So the Haas wants to get past through Williams. Both Haas's just behind the Williams car. Both the Williams don't seem to be showing the greatest of pace so far, but 5th and 8th still would definitely be taken from Maxi Boy. That, ooh, Kashi getting really close to Maney. Maney nearly spins the car. Chasey now with a 3 second at the second car now. 5th and 6th both have a 3 second in this race. And from bad to worse, Chasey loses another spot to the Haas. So after overtaking Kashi, he loses 2 spots after that. Definitely got the pace, but he's got to clear those mistakes up if he's going to get those positions back. Might get it back here. Again, that straight line speed of Chasey just a bit too much. Is he going to send it? They get awfully close to colliding. They don't quite, as Chase does not get the move done just yet. As that has helped Frizy and Bruno Fabian get right into this DRS train as well. It is now, what, 6 cars long? Or it was, but Maney and Kashi seem to have escaped it now actually. They're 2 seconds ahead of P6. They were frustrated Chasey a whole lot. Those two battling have let Maney and Kashi get away from them as the Haas is in. Wonder if it's for new tyres or a new wing potentially. No, it's just for new tyres. He's choosing to go for the undercut. Now he's out of DRS, he's going to want to undercut Kashi and Maney. Kashi's starting to lose some pace to Maney now. I think he want to be in soon as well. But that gap to the front is now in DRS range. First time in a couple of laps. Lady's going to be under pressure from Chevy Wolves. Gap 9/10. That's awfully close to a second. He'll be wanting to push really hard to stay in this 1 second before the main straight. Wanting for a good couple of corners. He does go wide. That's definitely a warning and some time loss. Well, he's just out of it for now. As a lot of these guys seem to be struggling in that corner. A lot going wide. Now don't blame them, it's a very tricky corner to get right. Once you do get it right, you normally get it right every single time after that. But getting it right is the toughest part. So will any driver respond to the Haas and pit? Just cover the undercut? They don't, except for his teammate. Both Haas's choose to pit early on in this race. Which is definitely a strategy that can pay off as long as they can extend those hards. Just see how the undercut goes for them. They'll both be wanting to try and get these cars. Chasey and Frizy going side by side to the S's. That is very nice. Still side by side as they make a bit of contact. Chasey holds on to position for now. I'm wondering if he has damage because he's losing an awful lot of time now. Ever since he got Kashi, he's been losing time ever since. Now his teammate wants to get him. Not sure if that's just tyre wear or just really out of rhythm now, but Casey is certainly struggling from now. Frizy is right on his rear. Those two Williams in the closest battle so far. See if the Hasses can get through the traffic. They definitely need to do if they want to get this undercut to work. Oh, he nearly spins on exit. Manages to keep it. Not going to send it yet. I want to get past him as quick as possible. Lucky doesn't give it too much of a fight. Doesn't look like he's... Seems like he's just going to let the Haas go. He knows it's not his fight. And that's exactly what you want to see. Or maybe not. That was close. I think Lucky may have dummied it and Bruno Fabian fell for every bit of it. Went wide, but still keeps it on those new medium tyres. I guess pushing on medium is strange. He's definitely going for a two-stop from here. I hope for a safety car. Kashi's closest to Maney he's ever been, but then just makes another mistake to erase the progress as Frizy does get past Chasey. In the process, he gets a 3 second and goes really wide. Not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if that was driver mistake or he's pushed wide. But that has erased 3 seconds of race time. That's a shame for him. He was looking really quick in the last couple of laps on the hard tyres. Maybe looking to get that back. Or looks like Maney made a mistake and went wide. Kashi finally gets past him. Trying for the last couple of laps. For that 3 second, I don't think Maney will be stressing too much because of it. Those two are definitely catching up to X-Knights now, who's, again, not showing the greatest amount of pace. 8 seconds away from P2 Chevy Wolves. Blade and Chevy look to be in a whole nother world. Kirko's holding on as they've made contact. That puts Bruno Fabian right through, but that's going to really hinder his undercut chances. That contact with Kirko. I missed whose fault it was, but both of them lost a whole bunch of time going into the grass there. Lucky then gets past Kirko. But Chevy pits. So does Kashi and Maney. So does Chasey. So a lot of them in this lap. A lot of those medium runners. But still out are the hard runners of Evil Blade, X Knights, and Frizy. Currently P1, 2, and 3. Shining also stays out in the mediums though. He looks to extend. Jace looks to extend as well on the mediums. Both going longer. Bruno Fabian actually does undercut Maney, and the Haas undercuts Kashi. So Maney and Kashi got undercut by the Haasses. They'll be looking to get back through. Maybe not. Maney's not looking the quickest, but I think that's just because he's harvesting. And Bruno Fabian will want to make little effort as possible on Jace. Yeah, he knows better than to send it there. But the corner coming up is definitely a strong chance. As Maney's passed actually. The Haas taking a bit too long to warm up for him, and he loses a spot to the Haas. So yes, Maney and Kashi both undercut by both the Haasses. Chasey as well involved in the undercut. So, and they'll be wanting to get back through. You want to get past Lucky. Again, close to contact Chasey. And he goes wide again. Definitely struggling at the moment. He's in the gravel too. He loses the spot to Kirko again. Chasey is having a rough time of it as the last couple laps. Oh, Maney looks to get back past now. Make a bit of contact and a bit more. But clean enough. Have these two made contact? They have. In comes Shining off the mediums on the hards now. Looks to go a bit longer than the others. Kashi gets past the Haas as well. Oh, had a better exit out of there though. Hello Damo and Uniques, good to see you guys there. Kashi and Maney, these guys have been battling the whole way through, and Jace is definitely holding these two up. Kashi will be hoping that Maney gets through as quick as possible. He will want to get through just as quick. Oh, as Maney goes wide, Kashi looks to take advantage. He does, that's an end plate flying. And that's the end plate of Maney, I believe. Maybe not. Someone's end plate definitely went flying there. No, it's the Haas. Maney makes a mistake coming back on. The Haas seems to get a bit too aggressive, and he's lost an end plate because of it. He went for the undercut. And he's been stuffed because of that mistake. I think he just got a bit too eager. But Duck will be wanting to come back through the field now. He's definitely, even on the older tyres, he's catching these guys. Jace makes a mistake. Loses out to Kashi and Maney. Those two still fighting. Frizy, the first one of the hard runners to go in. He's gonna have to bring the mediums quite a long way now, but definitely possible. He's trying to undercut those X Knights and Evil Blade. In comes Jace as well. And in comes the Haas to replace his wing. That's really unlucky. He got involved with Maney and Kashi's battle, and he suffered an end plate because of it. As the gap now is 11 seconds, Evil Blade to Chevy. But the more important gap is Chevy's gap to Evil Blade. The thing is, can Chevy undercut Evil Blade? The gap currently 22 seconds. That's about how much a pit stop takes, so it's going to be very close on exit between those two. But even if it does, Evil Blade will be on those fresh medium tyres. He does get out, but the gap is quickly going down. Kirko's involved in another battle. Hopefully this one's clean between the two of them. Chasey's really been struggling ever since about lap 7. And he goes wide again. He tried to follow Kirko through, and because of that, is gone wide. I'm not sure if he's got any damage, but he has been struggling for a while. Kirko's definitely holding his own in P8. He's not letting anyone pass him easily. Interesting to see when he pits onto those mediums. He's definitely looking to get some points here, which is good to see for his team. Duck is in for his final stop. Be interesting to see where he can rescue this car, because I doubt there'll be any safety cars to help him. It's really unlucky for him. That one mistake looks to have stuck this whole night. But the gap to leader is now below 21 seconds. I think we'll see Bladey in be 1 to 4 laps time, because I still think the mediums will struggle from here. I don't think he'll have much trouble getting past Chevy again. Kashi gets another penalty. That's 6 seconds. He's going to really struggle now with 6 seconds to create a gap because of that. Yet again, Bruno Fabian will not be going to the end on those tyres, I'll tell you that. It'll be interesting to see when he hits. Will we see Bladey in? Not yet. X-Knight's not yet either. Gives more time for Chevy to decrease that gap. As Kashi does have a second advantage on Maney now. Obviously with that 6 seconds it's going to be hard to keep that P5 and 7 currently now though for the Williams. That's what you want to see from them. But obviously Frozzy's going to have a bit of a task taking those mediums to the end. He'll be hoping no dirty air from Maney. But yet again, Kashi will be hoping that his teammate can catch Maney here and hold him up even more. Chasey's wide again. I think every time I switched onto him he's gone wide, and that's his 6 seconds now. He's wide even more. He's wide there as well. He has really struggled ever since he's got past Kashi. And his team principal at Barnes said go on Chasey, and ever since then he's really struggled. So yeah, I'm interested to see if he's had some sort of problem or he's just really struggling at this track. Gap to leader seems to have decreased to about 18 seconds, which is about 2 second gain that lap. But Bladey stays out yet again. X-Knight stays out and he's still underfueled. So it'll be interesting to see how much he's actually underfueled that car. But Kashi now closing in on the Haas. He'll be hoping he doesn't get held up too much because that Haas will not be going to the end. So you'll want to get past that Haas as quick as possible. He's got the DRS now. Gap going down even more, but it's not close enough this lap yet anyway. Chasey's in again, so he must have got damage somewhere as he speeds as well. Lucky he sped as well because of that. Chasey's turning his wing, I don't know when he got that. But Chasey's night goes from bad to worse after it was looking so good early on. The Duck will say thank you very much. That's 2 free positions. I'm in a P11 now. But yet again it's a 6 second from the next car, and when he gets him it's another 6 seconds to Kirko, but he's yet to pit on those hard tyres. Which fair play to him, he's actually looking pretty quick for his normal pace. As I say that, he goes wide. Apologies, Kirko. But Bladey is now in. He's going to switch on to those mediums now. Chevy will probably get ahead of him, but it'll be interesting to see how much. X-Knight just follows Bladey in. Chevy now turns on the battery. Yes, now he gets past. It doesn't look like by too much. Oh, Bruno Fabian has spun it in the last sector. Oh, and he's really struggling to get the car back going. Lost a whole bunch of time because of that, and he's just retired on track. Yeah, I'll just leave that up to the owners what they do about that. But in comes Kirko. He's going into the picture real slowly. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Bruno Fabian there. He thankfully didn't impact any driver, but retiring on track is always a big no-no. Not just in this league, but basically any league. So we'll see what happens there, but X-Knights now pits onto the medium tyres, and he'll be wanting to collect Maney if he can. And stay in Cashy's 6 seconds of penalties. There's another yellow flag, is that Kirko? If it was, didn't seem to be too bad. But the gap from P1 to 2 is 3 seconds. Bladey on the new medium tyres will have 10 laps. Or now 9 laps now to go chase Chasey down. Or Chevy down, not Chasey, sorry. But that gap is decreasing a lot. Not sure why, but it's coming down really quick. But we'll go into X-Knights, see if he can come and get Maney. Not yet. Brizzy will be looking at that battle as well. Lucky in P11, as you got Kirko collecting some nice points at the moment. Good to see that. With his teammate out. I think he had some Xbox problems or something. But chasing his new tyres would have been for a reset from what he's had in the last 10 laps plus. But yeah, you're right, everyone gets points now, so no reason to retire. Chasey's going to go down the inside. They're going to go side by side through the S's, both on fresh medium tyres. Chasey backs out of it. Stay behind Lucky for now. Duck's made his way into the top 10, good on him. Really fighting back. Really good to see his resilience that he's had not only this week, but in the last couple of rounds. But the gap has gone down to 1.2 already. He gets the fastest lap with 30.7. I think he gained about 2 seconds on that lap to Chevy Wolves. And I'm sure Chevy Wolves now will be shaking in his boots. That, or he's just accepted he's going to get overtaken now, because Evil Blade is looking rapid. As Mick gets laps, does a good job getting out of the way. But these top two are 15 seconds ahead of Cashy, who finds himself in P3 at the moment. In a whole nother league at the moment. X-Knight's not showing as much pace as you would have thought. The new mediums, he's not really looking quicker than Mania. As I say that, Mania makes a slight snap of the car. But he seems to be losing time to Frizy, if anything. X-Knight, so see what he can do, but as I say that, Mania looks to be struggling a bit. Both have, nearly all of these guys have got full battery packs though. These two are going side by side to the S's yet again. This time around, Chasey gets him though. Back into the top 10 for Chasey G, but he does have 6 seconds of penalties. So he's going to need to clear another 3 seconds to Lucky. Gap up the front, down to 3 seconds now, and hard to see Chevy keep this spot. Does not. Around the outside goes Evil Blade, and it's so easy for him. He goes back into P1 for the RBs, and they are looking really good now. So keep their constructors alive, and Evil is doing really well for his own championship. Look at X-Knights though. Can he get Maney? They both saved a lot of battery for this moment, and X-Knights goes wide. Can't keep it around. Maney gave him plenty of space, just X-Knights too late on the brakes. Goes wide into the gravel. That's going to be another lap stuck behind Maney. And Frazi's still here to pick up any pieces these guys spill here. So this three-way battle could get very interesting. As yeah, I mean, Blady's nearly got a second gap to Chevy already. Incredible to see his pace today. Truly keeping up his form as of late. It helps that there was no Matty, no Frosty tonight. And that's going to really help the RBs even more for their constructors. Obviously Red Bull and McLaren, the top two in the constructors. And obviously Williams and Alpine receiving more overalls points than McLaren so far today. More bad news for McLaren, but that's another fastest lap of 30.7. And he's just flexing now. Having way too much fun, Evil Blade. After starting P3 behind X-Knights and Duck Puncher, he's just showed to show the most pace by far. No one getting even close to him. But talk about X-Knights, can he finally get Maney on this lap? Maney's not going to straight give it to him. He's going to force him to go the long way around again. Or again, X-Knight seems to go a little wide. Maney keeps it in there. Both side by side. Maney wanted to keep it. But it looks like X-Knight's just a bit too quick. And he gets ahead of Maney now up into P4. Maney just couldn't keep it. He's down to P5. Frizy now just behind them. Interesting to see how his mediums are going. They're probably still quicker than Maney's tyres at the moment. As Duck Punch is now going to the softs, he's pitting again. And I've got to respect it, to be honest. Because the people who go past him, he'll probably just go straight back past. But that's another position for Kirko and Myers. Kirko is P12. Good on him. So Frizy now starting to lose some time to Maney. And the grid is definitely starting to spread itself out. But a good thing is, Shining's doing pretty well. He's not put it in the war yet. I don't want to curse him, but he's looking a lot more consistent, a lot more controlled this race. No real risk taken, he's taken his track really well. So I'm proud of my guy. But the closest battle looks to be Jace and Lucky for P10. Jace, without any penalties, Lucky with a 3-second. We will have a look at the penalties. Everyone's sitting. Oh yeah, I forgot Chasey got a 10-second. It was Lucky has 10 seconds, not 3. So, oh, there's a lot of spots. Oh, say that Lucky gets another one. But 16 and 13 seconds for these two. Both will most likely lose out to Jace, Kirko, and Duck. So Kirko's technically P11 right now. We'll focus on this battle. Jace will want to get past Lucky, but not fight it too hard with no pens. So Haas is back in. Interesting to see, he's on the softs as well. Couldn't take those tyres all the way, and I didn't think he could. But what looked to be a good race from the Hasses, they've quickly faded away. Interesting to see. But this will be the lap that Duck will probably want to try and go for fastest lap. This or the next one. He's got really no battery to go for it, this one. He'll be hoping to get Kirko as quick as possible. And I'll be interested to see if Kirko fights it or not. He's doesn't look like he wants to be pushed around tonight. He's had enough and he's holding his own. Yeah, he's definitely burning to try and get away from Dark. Their closest battle. Other than these boys. My Duck is now burning. Well, yeah, I mean Kirko closes the door around the outside. He's going to have a bit to do to get past Kirko. Oh, Shining. Oh, Frizy P again. There. Yeah, I didn't think Frizy would be able to take that to the end. Here it goes softs. Loses place to Shining. It goes up to 6. Good on him. I think... Oh yeah, Kirko's definitely not letting him pass here. Do a little fight. Ooh. Bit of contact. But I think this is where it will end. Duck Puncher says goodbye. There's P11. Chase gets a 3 second to help Duck even more. With these pens, he's still looking good for P8. And a 1 and 8 for the RBs will be very strong. But up the front, you've got Kashi extending the gap to X-Knights to 4.6. If he can gain another 1.5 in 3 laps, he's on the podium. But it's going to be hard because X-Knights is still looking very quick. But he'll be happy that Maney's not in the fight anymore, as Mick getting lapped by those boys. The gap extends to 3.4, and then 18 seconds behind them is where you find Kashi. Oh, Jace is in the wall right as... Oh my god! What just happened? Jace spun right as Duck got him, and as he spun, the Haas has just been collected. That is one of the worst luck I've ever seen for those Haas's. They were both running in the top 10, and then that has just happened. Wow, that is really unlucky for him. Nothing he could have done, but it's not report worthy either. I'm not sure if Jace made contact with Duck Puncher or something, but it looked like he just spun on his own to me. Talking about Duck, he's gonna collect Lucky soon. And I mean, Mick will take it. He's been lapped and he's just stayed in the race, and because of it, he's picked up 2 points. So that's what you got to do sometimes, and that's why you don't retire on track. If you just hang in there, there's always a chance for points. And Chase is now in. Oh yeah, here comes Duck on the soft tyres. He's pulled back probably as well as he could have tonight. Yep, very nice move. Lucky doesn't really fight it. Maybe he does. He is definitely burning. I'm wrong. Yes, Blade is definitely the GOAT. I 100% agree with you. He has been incredible the last couple of races. He definitely struggled towards the start of the season, but got to a point and then he was just rapid ever since. There goes Duck through. Shiny gets a 3 second, but he's got a healthy gap to Frizy. Unless Frizy can really turn on the jets. He definitely is. He's gaining rapidly. We will lose that spot. The gap from second to third is now extended to about 20 seconds. Those two just somewhere else in this race. Right, it looks like X-Knights will be on the podium as well. 3 different instructors. It'll be 6 different instructors in the top 6. So that's good to see. Yeah, I mean, Blade and Chevy, both, I think they're 3rd and 4th in the championship, if I'm not wrong. And they've taken advantage of Frosty not being here. Matey's 5th. Not sure where that puts him compared to Frosty. I'm not sure if he gains the championship back or not because of it. But if not, he would definitely be a lot closer. We're now on the final lap. Blade has led this race from, I think, about lap 3 to the end. And it hasn't looked close. The only one who really could have contended with was Chevy Wolves. And he definitely did for a point. But after a certain amount of laps, Evil Blade has just absolutely sent it. Talking about absolutely sending it, Frizy has actually ended up getting Shinings for him, so he didn't lose any spots from pitting again. It'll be 4th and 6th for the Williams, which is quite nice. I'm sure Maxi will take that. But coming to the last sector, Evil Blade, who has been on the podium for the past 2 races already, he's led this race for 90% of it. Around the final corner, Evil Blade wins here in Suzuka. Round number 10, Tier 4 is once again won by Evil Blade, followed by Chevy Wolves. And then 20 seconds back is Kashi in the Williams. Those two just extremely rapid. Really seem to love this track. Fair, it's a very good flowing one. But now Kashi, it's going to be around the line, 21 seconds behind P2. On track he'll finish P3, but X-Knights will get him on pens. So X-Knights P3, Kashi P4, and then Maney P5, maybe a championship lead after this, I'm not sure, but P5 for Lefty. And then Frizy will come around, who's, again, just as he normally does, driven a very controlled race, got in no incidents, and it's P6 on track for Frizy, shining in P7. Chase, who's had a rough night, probably finish P8 on track, but 16-second penalties does not help. Coming through the final chicane. It'll be Chasey G P8 on track, but I think he'll be P9, Duck P8, 1-8 for the Racing Bulls. 11 seconds back is lucky, but he has a pen, so it is going to be Kirk on the top 10, and to make it more dramatic, he just goes in the gravel thanks to the fans who have come out, and it's Kirko P10, Lucky P11. It was the reserve Red Bull P12. That'll be 2 points behind the championship. Well, there you go. He took advantage of Frosty not being there, and it's going to be 2 points the gap in the standings. We'll work on getting those podium sitters in. So, Evil Blade wins with the fastest lap. Just too good for the field. He was about 6/10 quicker than everyone. And then, yeah, Chevy Wolves P2, X-Knights P3. Those were the only real guys who could compete.